Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about another fantasy battle, and it's not going to be one of those discussion ones where I just kind of talk about why the battle is interesting, but we're going to be talking about, what the characters have, what would happen if they had to go head to head. And of course, if you click the link to this video, you already know it's going to be about Jabra and Wyper. Now, of course, if you're new here, please subscribe. Hitting that red button goes a long way. And also, if you are unsure if this contains spoilers from you because you're not caught up to this One Piece story yet, then I suggest that you check the description down below, because I put a tag there to let you know where you have to be to watch without spoilers. But at the same time, guys, this was really made for people who were not caught up mainly, so chances are if you know who the characters are already, there's no spoilers for you. Now, let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to say, before I even talk about, who's going to win or what they have, just the whole way it would happen and how that affects the battle, especially because of the, Skypiea and the conditions up there in the sky. I'm not going to consider what would happen, if you try to use a milky dial on the blue sea. Will it, be as effective or less effective? I'm not going to consider that. I'm just going to say everyone's attacks and weapons work just as good as they would normally. We don't care where this battle is happening, right? And so with that being said, let's jump into what these guys have, starting off with Wyper. Wyper, he has I think it's the flame bazooka or something like that. It's basically a bazooka that shoots fire, essentially. And then he has his trusty shield. He has these skates where he uses for using the milky dial, and he has the legendary reject dial, right, which is very potent. Then on the other hand, we have Jabra, member of CP9, right, master of Rokushiki, and the user of the dog fruit model wolf, right? These two characters going head to head, what would happen? Now, I think that this battle is interesting simply because, the Straw Hats went from, Skypieans right into Water 7 and Eni's lobby, and so, they're not too far apart, right? So it's interesting to see how, characters they versed in Skypieans would do against characters they versed in Eni's lobby. So one thing I do believe right off the bat about the reject dial is that it is more potent than Sanji's Diable Jump. I 100% believe that. So just like, the way Sanji landing that one on Jabra's neck was game over for Jabra, if what's his name, Wyper lands the reject dial on Jabra, that is it for Jabra, right? Now, of course, it could be on somewhere else, but it doesn't have to be on his neck. And he could potentially get up, but he would be in such a bad state that, if Wyper just landed one more, that would be it. Of course, Wyper can land up to 3. We've seen him do 3 in Skypieans, and I think that, that would be a winning condition, right? So off the bat, Wyper would probably be looking for a chance to just use that reject dial and the battle right off, But I don't think it's going to be that easy, right? Because Jabra has so many tricks up his sleeve, let alone a double fruit which allows him to keep going, enhances everything he already has with his Rokushiki already, plus his Tekai, which he can use without having to stay stationary. He can use it on the move with other attacks as well. So I think the hardest things for these guys to get used to at first would be the movement techniques, right? For Jabra it would be his Soru, which makes him faster, and for Wyper it would be using the milky dials and skating around, because that is very unknown in the blue sea, right? So Jabra has never seen that, and Wyper has never seen Soru, so getting used to those movements and everything would be the hardest thing. Geppo as well, the sky walk, allowing him to, fight in the air. That would be hard for both of them to get used to. Now, I think another, major attack which Jabra has is his 10 Shigan. I don't know what the move is called, but I'll just call it 10 Shigan, because it's like Shigan with like all 10 of his fingers, and he does something like this, right? And I think that would not be if it landed on Wyper, it would not be the end. I believe he'd have to land up to 3, possibly, right, for it to go down, because he landed, just before Sanji did, the finishing move on Jabra. Jabra landed 5 of them, so like half as potent, you could say, on Sanji. And Sanji got up from that and he limped away, really, he could keep fighting. Essentially, we knew that after that fight, Sanji could keep fighting someone else. So half of them only, and on the other hand, we know Wyper has good durability. He can keep going even after attacks have hit him. In Skypiea, he went through hell, man. He went through Shura's spears, axe dials, L Thors, and kept using the reject dial. So we know Wyper is not a wimp when it comes to taking pain. So yeah, that's one thing I had to say. He'd probably have to land 3 of those Tenshinhan before Wyper actually goes down. But coming back to it, like I said, we can imagine this whole setup, Wyper zooming around on his Milky Way, and then, what's his name? Jabra also trying to keep up, trying to, fight, and also dodging the attacks, both of them dodging each other, trying to land hits. But, one man is going roller coaster all around, the other guy's kind of running and flying in the air, trying to get at each other. But I think a very difficult thing in this fight would be that, on Wyper's end at least, would be the fact that he doesn't have much of, many strong attacks apart from the reject dial. Of course, the bazooka is really strong, but the problem with the bazooka is that it's not very versed. Like, you can't really use that at any angle. You can't just be awkward angles or awkward positioning and then kind of just, use it, especially with the aiming as well. You can't just like aim it anyhow. It's like really big contraption, really, that you have to kind of aim properly, then use. So he doesn't really have any strong attacks. He can just kind of use in the middle of a battle in close range, apart from the reject dial. So he's kind of going to be on the defense for a lot of this battle, looking for an opening, either, to throw him off with the bazooka, which would be a great thing to hide the reject dial, throw him off with the bazooka when he thinks he's gotten through his strongest attack, draw him in, reject dial, finish the battle. But on the other hand, Jabra would be kind of like also taunting him to see his strongest attack, because we know how Jabra likes to play with his opponents, be like, oh, I'm actually a good guy, don't hurt me, please. And then when they get drawn in, then he attacks them, kind of crying wolf, as his power implies. And now I don't think that Wyper is that gullible to just believe all, any which thing that Jabra says. But I do believe that, given possibilities in the fight, maybe Wyper did a really, strong attack, not the reject dial, but maybe the bazooka or something, and it seems like he got Jabra but Jabra's really just faking, the amount of damage he received. Then in that case, Wyper may unveil his strongest card and Jabra may jump out of the way, rendering it ineffective and putting him really at a disadvantage, open to attack and open to defeat. But if that doesn't happen, for the most part, like I said, Wyper would be on the defensive. Of course, taking blows, he has his shield, which would be really effective, really useful in this case. And, he has good mobility as well. So I think this would be a really drawn out fight if it did actually happen. And it wouldn't be as clear cut to see a winner because, Wyper could always pull out the reject dial given an opportunity, especially with Jabra potentially looking down on Wyper as, someone who's not very civilized, right? So it would be one of those where you'll be waiting to see, will he manage to use it, will he not, how will it go? And slowly, in this battle of attrition, Wyper would be, kind of almost losing kind of thing. Almost like I was gonna say something, but in order not to put the spoiler tag as far back as possible, I won't say this. But yeah, it'll be one of those things where he has his trump card, right? And it's this super big trump card that when he uses it, the battle's over. For those of you who are further ahead in the series, you know which character I'm talking about. But yeah, it'll be that kind of situation, I imagine. And of course, if he never manages to use the reject dial, he will go down. I do believe that, as close as it will be between Rangaku, Geppo, Soru, Shigan, Tekai, and Kamiya, it will be very difficult for Wyper to win. Now, of course, on the other hand, as much as Jabra has the Kamiya, which kind of helps him avoid, Wyper will be a bit used to that, having faced people who have mantra before. So mantra I feel like is more useful and a better version of Kamiya, because Kamiya just kind of seems like you're flimsily dodging, kind of like Luffy when he's not really thinking, right? But Mantra is kind of like you see it coming and you actively dodge. You know how to dodge. You're not kind of just relying on yourself to somehow dodge, right? It's not one of those things. So I believe the Kamiya won't work as well, but I still do believe that he will be at a disadvantage. And if he doesn't manage to kind of break away, find a way to really throw him off his game, then it's lights out for Wyper, but not too easily. It'll be a very high difficult fight, even without, right? Mid high, I'd say, even without the rejectile coming into play, and kind of what's his name, Jabra just beating Wyper. It will still be mid high, I guess, but once Wyper gets a chance to use a rejectile, it's over, right? I imagine that he'd probably use it, then Jabra would still possibly get up, be like, ugh, what just happened to me? Like, dazed, confused, doesn't even know what happened. And then Wyper would either pick up the bazooka, just flame on, burn him to the bone, or he could just rejectile once again, finish the man, and let that be the end of the battle. But yeah, guys, that's it from me. That's my thoughts on how that would go down, especially between the two characters. I know there's a lot of talk about, especially the relationship with the Straw Hats, how strong the Straw Hats got in Enies Lobby and Warrior 7. And I didn't really want to go too deep into that because this was not that kind of video. But let me know how you guys think this would go down. Difficulties, any other abilities of these characters which you think would play a bigger role, anything that you think I missed over or looked over that, would be important that you guys think plays a role or a factor. And yeah, as always, guys, like this video if you like the video, subscribe if you want more content like this. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth, share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more of my other videos. If not, thank you for watching this video thus far, guys. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.